Hello everyone, we are here with Tuomas from Nightwish. Hi.
Hello.
Nice to have you on our pages and on our
Well,
video again. Always a pleasure for me too. And well, you're here of course to talk about the new album. And what can I tell right from the start is that for the previous album you held listening parties 2 months earlier before the album came out. You had teasers on the radio, you had a game with the cover and such. You gave out a lot of hints about the album, whereas this time around you're keeping it more secret. Is that a way to attract fans' interest, to keep a shade of mystery about it and things like that? So little is known about that.
Yeah, well, actually, yes, it is. And also on the previous album, we didn't want to give out those snippets.
All right.
I don't really see the point of giving like 30 seconds from each song. Different stuff.
All right.
And because for me personally, when a new album of my favorite band is released, it's an event. I don't want to know anything about it in advance. I remember when Far Beyond Driven by Pantera was released, I was really looking forward to the day when it was released and cycling to the record shop and getting the album, going back and just dedicating a few hours just listening to that. That was an event. And that sort of thing seems to be, well, if not disappearing, but there's something of that mystery is gone.
Right.
Basically because of social media and internet. Don't get me wrong, I think internet is fab. It's a perfect way of spreading information and promoting and all that. But like you said, we would like to bring a little bit of mystery back into music and to bands as well. There's a reason why we do our best for keeping our privacy. We enjoy talking about music and the album, the live shows and all that, but I mean, personal stuff is personal for a reason.
Right.
And I mean, one of my biggest idols, Vangelis, for example, nobody knows anything about him. He does just comes out with new music every now and then, and that's it. And I really like that sort of image.
All right.
It's just music, and that's all that matters. That's the way it should be.
Well, given the fact that one of the few things that were given out is that a scientist, an evolutionist scientist, will be featuring on the album, and it caused an unexpected riot in a way, or so many comments. Maybe some things are better kept secret and then surprise people. I don't know. I was surprised by the comments you received on such a simple thing. You know, you presented a scientist and I was
personally really baffled about some of the comments. I didn't expect it to be like that. I got the feeling that we put out a real threat to some people. They were genuinely scared. And like Marco put it, that if you want to shock people these days, forget about Satan and drugs, bring an evolutionary biologist aboard. I mean, he writes beautiful stuff, he narrates some wonderful quotes on the album, and that's it. Yeah. So what's so scary about it? I don't really understand, but yeah, I was really surprised.
Yeah, so well, it was a surprise to the band itself then.
Yeah.
And well, the first thing I noticed listening to the album is that it's heavier. No one is going to deny that it's heavier than the latest Nightwish albums. Is that a reason because you've got Fleur on voice, which has a down and through heavy metal background?
Well,
it wants it to hit harder.
It doesn't really have anything to do with Fleur.
All right.
The songs just came out.
Okay.
The way they did, by just working with them in the rehearsal room. We never calculate in advance how the songs should sound like. That would really kill the magic of the music. It's just you write songs about things that really interest you and inspire you, and then you bring those songs to the rehearsal room. You play them again and again and again with the band, arrange them, you record them, you mix them, and then you listen to the final result. And yes, it is a heavier album than the couple of previous ones, but it was not intentional.
Well, it was all the lucky then that you got Fleur singing then, which has a metal background then. If the album
She
came
has
out
a metal background, yeah, but she's doing a lot
lucky.
of soft singing on the album as well, which
Yes.
I think is going to come out as a surprise for many people, that she's not using her trademark lyric vocal style that much.
I see.
Because the songs just didn't require that.
Okay.
You have to be humble before the songs and do what it takes to bring those songs alive in the best possible way.
All right. And from what I heard, there's a bit less of production on the guitars. It seems to have a more of not a live feeling, because of course there's a lot of work on it.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad you hear that. That's what we were aiming at.
It's not like it was recorded on one take, but it seems there's a bit less of focus on having like 10 guitars or the such. Is that right, actually? Or
that is absolutely right. I think on the Once album, for example, we had 6 rhythm guitars in every song. On Imaginero we had at least 4 or 6, and this time it's only 2.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're kind of aiming to bring that live band vibe a bit more back into the music. And don't get me wrong, I think Imaginero sounds exactly the way we wanted it to sound like when we recorded that. That was the thing for that time, to make a really cinematic orchestral album. But this time it was time to do it like this. And when I listen to the album now, I can really hear that the band, the organic band is back there.
Yeah. That's what I heard in the songs. And does a band like Nightwish actually jam to a song, or you write it and you exchange ideas and then you try out how it sounds once it's done?
As a songwriter, I rarely jam.
Right.
I don't jam with the keyboard and suddenly come out with an idea that hey, this sounds good. Maybe I can use this. What would this song be about? It's never like that. The story always comes first. But then when we are in the rehearsal room with the band, we do a fair bit of jamming every now and then.
All right. And is the last song on the record, is that the greatest show on earth? Not born out of a jam, but it's a really long song with many different changes of rhythm and the narrated part and the such. So was it intended to be that long when you started writing it, or you just kept adding?
I wouldn't have minded it being even longer,
right?
Like 50-60 minutes, because it really is the ultimate subject. It's about the evolution on planet Earth. So we needed to nail 4.6 billion years of evolution in one song, so you can't really do a 3-minute song out of that thing.
All right.
But we were able to do it in 24 minutes, so that it actually works.
Okay. So for you, it's worth it to have such long songs nowadays, when it seems that attention of a lot of listeners is dropping. So maybe after 5 minutes, they're like, it's too long, I just want to skip and such.
Yeah, many people, especially kids, they have a attention span of 4 minutes, or even if that. Well, but and I highly suggest that you listen to this album from beginning to the end in peace, and not just snippets here and there.
All right. So was it hard to get a single out of the album?
If it was up to me, we would never release singles in the first place. It just seems so unfair to put one song on a pedestal to represent the whole album.
Okay.
And with this album, Elan doesn't really give you the right impression of what's going on, but it's sort of necessary evil that you have to do these days, and you just have to pick one that would possibly get some radio play, which would be an easy enough approach. This time it was Elan, and that's it. But, like I said, it's just part of the whole, and I wish people would listen to the album from beginning to the end.
All right, we'll be pushing to that. And in the time between the previous album and this one, you've also made a couple of your dreams come true, like making a movie based on your music, and then making music based on Scrooge, on one of your favorite comics. So, is there anything left for you as a dream to comply work-wise?
Oh, plenty for sure. I hope it never ends.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, especially because of the movie, because of the solo Scrooge thing, and immediately afterwards doing Endless Form's Most Beautiful. I have to be honest that I feel a bit empty at the moment when it comes to songwriting, so maybe a little break is a healthy thing to do now.
Yeah.
The fire is still there for sure.
Well,
but I have absolutely no idea at the moment what the next Nightwish is going to be.
All right. And did these two particular projects come out the way you wished for?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I feel really proud about them. And the film was definitely a one-time thing. We get asked all the time whether you're going to do a sequel or another film, but no, it was. If you thought music business was chaotic, try movie business.
All right.
It's something that was good to experience once, but maybe not again. And also the solo project was a one-time thing. I have no intention of going solo. I have no ambitions, but to do a thematic album about Scrooge McDuck is something you cannot really do with a band.
Yes.
So had to be done solo.
All right. And well, didn't you get the acting bug while acting on the movie? Wouldn't you try that again?
I didn't.
All right, all right. Oh well, I guess I've asked you everything that I was curious about the album. So, if there's any final wise words you want to share, a secret about the album, this secret album?
Well, maybe the wisest words can be found from the album and its lyrics. So, maybe you should dive into that.
We'll read it.
Some wisdom.
All right. Well,
all right.
So hopefully people will be reading to the lyrics while listening to the whole album and such.
That's highly suggested. Yes, thank you.
Well, thanks a lot for your time, and I'll be seeing you next time on tour or for the next album.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot.